Katie, tell everybody here again real quick about the upcoming Catawba Golf Classic.
So on May 9th this year, we'll be hosting our annual football fundraiser that goes toward all the program. It's anything they need to be successful in the fall. It's a golf tournament, and we're already so thankful for everyone that's sponsored, but we're looking further to raise the level. And on your table, there's a QR code that tells you a little bit more about the history of the Classic and how you can become a sponsor. So thanks so much.
All right, and Coach Haynes, before you get done, let me run down the sponsors again. We want to thank Catawba Football, Baseball, and Men's Basketball, Bill and Rose Mary Hall, the Chiefs Club, the 1851 Collective Group, Jared Tice, Jay and Kelly Baker, Bill and Shari Graham, and also Maddox Holzhauser for getting this event switched inside today. And Coach, you want to say some thank yous as well?
Yeah, of course. I want to thank Katie Webb for opening us up there. Really appreciate everyone for being here. How about a round of applause for everybody here? This is a great event. Just the support for not only football, but for Catawba College, for Catawba Athletics. I've never seen anything like this before. We've had these shows in the fall, and this is just unbelievable, the support and just the love and the family atmosphere that's here today. So I want to thank President Nelson for his leadership. I want to thank Maddox, as we just did. I want to thank Michelle Cadigan and our entire athletic department. I'd like to thank Bill and Shari Graham, JDs, and the entire 1851 Champions Collective for sponsoring the show. And lastly, like I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Everyone that's online, thank you for watching. You'll see a QR code on the screen. If you click on that, we appreciate your support as well. We couldn't do this show without you. So with all that, we're excited about our spring game tomorrow. We're excited about this show, hearing from some of these great spring programs and fall programs that are having so much success. Tonight's a great event, and we look forward to carrying it into tomorrow.
All right, Coach, so tell us, I know you've been busy all winter long with recruiting and the transfer portal, working through spring practice, getting position groups in order. Tell us about how all that has gone for you through the winter and the spring and what you're looking forward to upcoming in the fall.
Absolutely. Well, I know this much. Coming back from Christmas break and New Year, we had a very hungry football team. We were very impressed with our academics, with our community service, but we had a sour taste in our mouth about how last fall went. So the first thing was getting into the weight room, strength conditioning-wise, with our new strength coach, Brock, and his crew, who've been doing a great job for us, getting our guys bigger, faster, stronger, tougher in there. Had a great recruiting class in February, signed 25 Catawba Indians to join this family. They're hungry and excited. Some of them are in this room right now. Every single one of them and their families will be here tomorrow, so please welcome them. When you see them, they look like they're lost and wandering around. They're one of ours, and point them in the right direction. We lost one coach who we filled, and we just hired a new receiver coach, Adam Gaho. Excited to have him. If you see him wandering around, he's our new receiver coach, originally from San Diego, played at UNLV. Had been coaching at Drake University. For any of you basketball fans, they made it to the big dance. He was there 4 years. They made the playoffs, and glad he's here with us. Spring's been going well. The guys are working hard. You're going to see it on full display tomorrow when we're wearing our colors, representing our college together.
And you're going to have an interesting fall schedule. You get to play every team in the conference this year, a complete round robin, no championship game, and you've got plenty of players returning. So what can we look forward to in the fall? We lost a lot of tough games, close games in the fall. You were that close to being 7-4 or 8-3, and I think just a play or two and all the work you put in, probably going to look to flip that around this fall.
Yeah, well, it's great to flip the switch and put the past behind us and look forward to this new 2025 football team. We are excited. I'll tell you one thing we're really excited about is our home opener. We started on the road 3 games, talked to President Nelson about it. Being on the road for the first 3 weeks of the season was something we didn't enjoy too much, but we look forward to August 30th. Under Shuford Stadium, under the lights, home opener to put on a show for you. We're excited. We're hungry. We are the oldest we've ever been. We'll carry a roster of about 120 kids. We'll have about 25 seniors, where the last 2 years have been 6 to 8, respectively, both those years. So now's the time to have some fun and sing after some victories this fall.
And one other thing I see on the list that you may want to talk about are some potential field house renovations as well. It's not just the practice and the success on the field. There's a lot of things that have to happen behind the scenes to help make your team successful.
One of the things about Catawba to me that is so special, I have coached at several different colleges, several different universities, and the event like this speaks volumes to it, is the support of the alumni, the support of the community, the support of families. I'm just so thankful to be a part of it. We have big aspirations for our program and for the programs across the athletic department, obviously, and yes, we have big aspirations for buildings, for scholarships, for all kinds of fun things. And I can just promise you one thing, that no matter who or what's going on around us, you'll be proud of the team that takes the field and carries our banners on Saturday.
And speaking of proud of the team, we want to have to get you guys out of here because we got a pretty full show. So we're going to talk to a couple of your players that have been here for 3 years now and have enjoyed a great amount of success out there on the field. So let's welcome offensive lineman Jalen Brooks and linebacker Evan Simons. And we're going to talk to them real quick up here to see how things have been going through spring practice. Logistics a little tight here, so bear with us for just a minute. These guys will get moved in here pretty quickly. They move pretty good, especially Jalen Brooks for a big offensive lineman. I know he's got some speed. So, okay, so Jalen, let's talk to you. You've been here from Charlotte, North Carolina, played at Providence High School. Two-way lineman to start out, offensive and defensive lineman before they found a home for you on the offensive line. And I just want to know, in your career here at Catawba, has Catawba met or exceeded your expectations both academically and athletically, and how so?
I would say that it's exceeded my expectations academically very much. The classrooms are smaller and the teachers care more, so I'm able to really be focused on my work and what I do without getting distracted, so that's nice. I used to not really be about going to class and doing all that stuff, but they've really been on top of me, you know, taking school seriously to make me a better person and for my future, so that's good. Athletically, very much so, you know. I've got my O-lineman over there and my offensive coordinator over there, and my O-line coach was here, but they keep me honest, they keep me accountable. They make sure that I do what I'm supposed to do and make sure that I'm leading everyone in the right direction. And yeah, they just made me a better person overall.
And how would you rate your success and how things have gone here at Catawba? Just beyond your expectations, or just what you expected?
I'd probably give it like a 9, you know.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Academically, it's good. I got a good GPA, and I'm pretty damn good at football, so there's that. But, yeah.
All right, there you go. Evan, kind of same things. You've been here now. You've been doing a lot of great things out there on the football field, but same thing, academically, athletically, met or exceeded your expectations?
Like Brooks said, you know, look closer. Oh, my fault.
Uh-oh.
Like Brooks said, the classrooms are much smaller. You know, the teachers, they're really supportive of what you do here. And then athletically, you know, I got my teammates, you know, my coaches, you know, they push me to be like a better athlete every day. So I'm very thankful for that.
And what can we look forward to in the fall? With spring practice, what are some of the things that your team's been working on to really get you set and take that next step this fall?
I think that our spring has been good. You know, defense had some really good days and offense had some really good days, so we've been up and down. But I'm really proud of the consistency that we're building. I'm proud of the way our team's looking. Of course, we're going to add extra pieces, so I'm really excited to see what the fall brings, but we're ready to win.
How about glad to be able to hit somebody other than a teammate tomorrow night, huh?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
All right, so we'll look forward to some big things from you guys in the fall. Well, Jalen Brooks and Evan Simons, you'll hear a lot from them this coming fall. Now, quick transition again, and right now we have a couple of Catawba classmates from the class of 1978. You're probably familiar with both of them. One is Mike Casey. He's going to step up here and talk with us about what Catawba means to him and how important it is to give back to your school. And also, former governor of North Carolina, former mayor of Charlotte, and what I understand, an outstanding tennis player during his time here at Catawba College, Pat McCrory. So welcome these guys, Mike Casey and Pat McCrory, up here to talk with you this evening. Glad to have you guys on board here this evening.
Thanks, Ken.
And Mike, let's start with you.
Okay.
What has Catawba meant to you in your career and your lifetime, and why is it so important to continue to give back to your college?
Well, it's interesting. You know, at the time, I probably didn't understand the significance of coming to Catawba College, but what I've learned over the last 50 years was that the culture is so unique here, and the foundation that it built for me, and the opportunity that I was afforded, not just while I was here, but afterwards, has made a huge difference in who I am as a person. And one of the things that I really, really believe strongly about is to give back and to try to help others. People took a personal interest in me, and I feel the need to do the same thing. And so it's easy for me to spend time where you're appreciated and where you want to be, which is right here at Catawba. Very, very unique culture that I don't think that there's anything like this anywhere else.
And Governor McCrory, what has Catawba meant to you, and how did Catawba help you in your political career and guide you to want to become successful as the governor of North Carolina?
Catawba changed my life. Catawba changed my life, and a professor named Sandy Silverberg, who just passed away this past year, just walked me through life and impacted me tremendously. We had political debates constantly, and that's where I learned to debate. And never in my lifetime, and a long time ago when we used to spend a lot of time in this gym, did I think I'd be getting to know President Reagan, President Bush, President Biden, President Obama, President Trump. I mean, Silverberg wouldn't have believed it, neither would I have. But the opportunities I've had since Catawba is because of Catawba College.
And speaking of that, what ways in particular did it help you in your career, campaigning, running an office, getting people appointed to certain positions on your staff? How did that all help you to be successful in what you did?
Well, my first rally for governor back in 2009 was in this lobby right here. And I'll never forget, a teacher from North Rowan High School, Wayne Crowder, came to that rally. And Wayne Crowder, I knew because I got my teaching degree here at Catawba College. I was a political science education major, and I student taught at North Rowan High School my senior year. And Wayne Crowder was my advisor, teacher. And many years later, I remember looking out in the audience and seeing Mr. Crowder cheer me on, and I went, wow, it all comes back. It all comes back, and I'll never forget him. So not only did Catawba help me, but Catawba sent me to North Rowan High School to learn how to become a teacher. And from that, I actually became director of training at Duke Power Company. So in a way, I was a teacher, and I loved every minute of it.
And Mike, I have to ask you a question. As Pat McCrory's roommate during your college years,
were
there some things you had to keep? Were there enough things you had to keep quiet about while he was campaigning?
I think there's a statute of limitations, so I think we're good. I can tell you that Pat was a very popular student athlete, and actually, what's really great, he jokes about this, but the networking and the relationships that we've carried, we've been friends for 50 years. And there's a number of other people that are here that I recognize and know and appreciate. And that's the uniqueness of Catawba, that there are people that you are going to live the rest of your life in touch with and have something in common that you can't replace and you can't do it anywhere else.
Is there one single thing that each of you could point to that really makes Catawba the special place that it is? One thing in particular?
I'd say people care.
I'd say a sense of community on campus. I felt a safety here and a friendship with people forever. I lived within this 6-block area, and it has stayed with me forever. I just walk into this gymnasium across the campus today with your incredible, by the way, your president of this school is absolutely fantastic, and the vision he has for this school down the road. We were looking at what we can create down the road as far as the quality of life and the activities for students. The future for Catawba is unlimited, and I'm excited about your leadership here at Catawba.
Ken,
Mike?
I was going to mention one last thing, which is I know that I think Tyler had mentioned earlier, Coach Haynes had mentioned earlier about the QR code. And I think that that's something that's important. One of the things that really differentiates Catawba is the support that they get from the student body, the parents, the alumni. And I want to challenge people out there that if you go on and hit the QR code and donate money to the program tonight, I'm prepared to match that, whatever the dollar amount is.
All right, that's a great thing there. Some incentive to get involved here and donate to Catawba College. So Thank you for that.
The reason he did that is because I threatened him with some pictures that I have back in 1978. So whatever it takes to raise money for Catawba.
As long as those pictures
gonna
don't
do.
surface, we're good.
Yeah.
All right, so I want to thank you guys for joining us on the show, and thank you for continuing
hey,
to be part of this Catawba College community.
Take advantage of Catawba and the personal one-on-one relationship you have with your professors, because that made a difference for me coming out of high school. Take
Definitely.
advantage of it.
Definitely.
No doubt about it. You can't get that at a big school.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. So speaking
Thank
of
you all.
building for the future, we want to bring up women's basketball coach Terrence McCutcheon and young freshman point guard Bailey Goodlett. Coach McCutcheon has really been building the program since he's been here. Of course, we all know that fantastic run to the Elite Eight in the national semifinals a couple years back. And he had to replace some of the greatest players in Catawba history in Sarah McIntosh, Lyric Thorne, and Janiah Downs, but they kept pace this year, a 17-12 record, a good finish in the South Atlantic Conference. Maybe not as good as they had hoped. A little up and down season. You had some great wins and some difficult losses throughout the season, but another great season. And Coach McCutcheon, a quick question I want to start out with you for. Mm-hmm. Which was the most thrilling for you, the run to the Elite Eight in the national semifinal game, or watching your son this past season win a state championship for Corvian Community School in the Class 1A ranks here in North Carolina?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Listen, the Elite Eight run was something special. It was an experience that, I really can't put into words. We was at the highest levels of competition, so that was just great for our community and just to be there. But seeing your son, a child of yours, compete at the highest levels and win, I don't think I can't pick one. They're probably equal, but I was very happy for him as well to see them get a state championship and, benefit from all the hard work he put in.
Well, I know you're a proud father, but I know you're proud of the team that you have, and you're proud of the success you had on that Elite Eight run, but you're also proud of this group that you have working right now, a hard-working group of young women. You graduated some seniors that have been here for a while, Jada Porter, Nala Baker, and I'm missing one here.
Foskey.
Janiah Foskey, who finally came into her own this year, injury-free season, relatively.
Yeah.
I know you're proud of that and the program and the culture that you've established here with your team. What are one of the keys, or some of the key things you focus on in coaching your group?
Just buying into the work. You talked about hard work, so here we put work in, and it's a daily grind. The game time, you see that, and it's exciting style, but these young ladies, they put in a lot of time throughout the week to being good. So just committing to the work, trying to be great teammates, trying to be great people in this community on campus, things like that, part of the culture. But just really proud of this team. This year was like a growth year, gaining experience, had a lot of young players, whether young by a year or young by playing time, just to come in. And, we didn't get the wins that we wanted to, but it was a good year. I think we can take a lot of things from this season and build on the future and put us in position to win like we did prior to the season. I
agree. I think the future is bright here with the players that you have. And one of those young players that joined your team this year right here, Bailey Goodlett out of North Rowan High School. And Bailey, you were an outstanding player at North Rowan, a lot of accolades during your high school career. And you come into Catawba College, a team that's been successful, had some veteran players, getting you worked into the mix. You took over right away, worked into the starting lineup. What was the biggest challenge for you coming from high school basketball to college basketball?
I think the biggest challenge for me was just playing with bigger girls, faster girls, stronger girls, and I wasn't never really used to that coming from a 1A school, so that was really different because I was used to playing with people my size mostly. So I think that would be something like that was really a challenge for me.
And what did your teammates do to help acclimate you to Catawba College and make you feel that you were an integral part of the team right away?
I think they just encouraged me a lot and they were really there for me, and they pushed me to be the best I could be, and they really challenged me. Like, they never took it easy on me. They always made sure I was doing everything right, and they just never took it lightly, so I would say that.
And what were some of the biggest lessons you learned throughout the year to help you both athletically and academically here at Catawba?
I think it was good for me being in a smaller class and got to talk one-on-one to a teacher more because that's how I focus more. So I think that was good. And then athletically, I think it just grew me better as a person. I never knew what to expect, so I think it grew me. So yeah.
All right, well, we got to keep things moving here on the show, so thanks for joining us. We know the future is bright with you in charge here, Coach McCutcheon and Bailey. Some more good years coming up here down the road with Catawba. Look forward to seeing more out of you guys next year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Coach McCutcheon and Bailey Goodlett, part of the successful women's basketball program. And now we switch over to the men's side of things, the men's basketball program. And Coach Rob Perrin, he's a tough guy to contain, but we found a way to do it. They limited him to 4 minutes tonight. So we finally figured out how to contain Coach Perrin. And he's joined by Justin Banks, one of his key players on this past season's team. And Justin, I want to start out with you because you started out the season with a bang or a slam, as a matter of fact. The very first game of the year against Lander, your team makes a big comeback. At the very end of the game, a missed shot, you grab the rebound and slam it in for the game-winning slam dunk, which was the Sports Center #1 play that night. What was that like to make a play like that to help your team win and to start the game? And how popular did you become with all your friends being the #1 play on Sports Center?
It was a great experience.
Move that up a little closer there.
It was a great experience. But it really started with, the team wanted everyone on the team wanted us to come back, and that we knew that we had to fight back. So, to be able to top it off felt amazing, but, I had to stay within those ropes and join the team.
And Coach Perrin, another successful season, maybe not as successful as you'd hoped. Again, kind of like the women's team, plenty of big wins, but some tough losses as well. Did make the NCAA regional, so overall, I'd say it's a successful season, but I think with the team you have, you maybe expected a little more and maybe expect a little more in the future.
Well, I think we surpassed a lot of expectations but our own. We lost 7 seniors, and that's hard to fill in 1 year, and we had some good guys coming back, and they took that challenge to the highest level. I promise you, Justin was a little bit more emotional when he dunked that than he was just now. But, I was really proud of the guys, and I think, making the NCAA tournament was something that was pretty special. I don't think a lot of people expected that, but I think we wanted to go even farther. And that was, the guys, we had 10 of our top 12 missed 3 or more games, and they just kept readapting, adjusting, and we had to change, like Coach Haynes did, they had to change the playbook a lot. And they did really well with that, and they stuck together. And I think the fact that they were so close was a big part why we got to enjoy some success.
I was going to mention the closeness of your team. Now, do you think a big part of that is you and your coaching staff, or do you think it's a tribute to the senior leadership on your team, or maybe a little of both?
I think it starts from within, the players. We try to recruit kids that we think will get along, and when we bring them to campus, we have them meet with 3 or 4 guys and say, do you think he's a good fit? And I think that's important, and people are about places. Our places are about people, I should say, and we are very conscientious of getting guys that we think will get along and love the game of basketball for what it is. And so that was a big part of it. But I got great assistant coaches that, the best gift you can give kids is time. Invest time in them, and they do a ton of that. Our whole staff does, and our players invest. And, we tell them, come by the office every week. Every day if you can, just to say hi and maybe talk not about basketball. And we're proud of the relationships that we have with our guys.
So Justin, talk about it from your perspective then. Has playing for Coach Perrin and Catawba College met or exceeded your expectations, both in basketball and then on the academic side? Has Catawba met or exceeded your expectations there as well?
The Catawba College has really surpassed my expectations from where I thought. I came a little ways out from Illinois, so I didn't really know what to expect when I got here, but they definitely helped me from once I was a freshman growing into what I am now, and raised me to be better every day for sure, and they pushed me to surpass the limits, so that's good, yeah.
Okay, so keep up the good work, and again, we'll look forward to more exciting things from the men's basketball program. So we got to keep moving on as we think of Catawba basketball. So thanks to Rob Perrin and Justin Banks for joining us here for men's basketball. And when you think of Catawba College and success, I don't know that anyone symbolizes more success here at Catawba College than Coach Jim Gant and the Catawba baseball team. So let's welcome Coach Gant and his star pitcher Hayden Simerson up here. Coach Gant, picked up his 1,000th win earlier this spring. He now has 1,016 career wins here at Catawba. And Coach Gann, I know Catawba has a special place in your heart. You were here, an all-conference player here, taking over became an assistant coach and taking over as the head coach, and have built quite a series of success here. But what does that all mean to you personally here, doing it at Catawba College?
Well, it's a big deal to be able to coach at your alma mater, place where you played, and that was always a goal. I didn't know it was going to happen that quickly. I did have a chance to go to grad school at Gardner-Webb back in the day, and Clyde Miller was the coach up there then. And Coach DeHart, who was my college coach, said, "Coach, you want to start coaching baseball," because he knew how I felt about it. And I hated school. Sorry, Dr. Nelson. But anyway, I wanted to coach, so I jumped into the coaching ranks and been here for 40 years now.
Now, your team's enjoying quite a bit of success this year. You got a big stretch run coming up here in the month of April, road series at Wingate and Lincoln Memorial, a home series with Carson Newman next weekend, sandwiched in between. And you had to work in some new players. You lost some pretty valuable players from last year's team, but you worked in some new players. Things are going pretty well. What has been the key to that, keeping that success going this year?
Well, we do have some good players. I think what we lost from last year is a big part of the grit that you can't put on paper or see in analytics and that kind of thing. And we lost a lot of that. Right now, we're standing at the plate when we can drive some runs in, and we're not doing that. You know, we need to compete a little bit better. But guys like Hayden Simerson here, that's the reason why we can carry this going forward. If he could pitch every game, we'd have a chance in every game.
I remember when you were coaching him in Legion baseball, I asked you one time in a pregame interview, when you would watch him pitch in high school, that you could sit back and be glad that he was coming to Catawba College.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad he's here.
So speaking of that, Hayden, you've enjoying quite a bit of success here in your first 2 years at Catawba, and you come out of the bullpen blowing smoke, as we say. They're one of our sponsors here in Catawba baseball, and you're blowing smoke out of the bullpen. I understand you worked with a pitching coach in the offseason to try to improve your velocity. That seems to be working pretty well. What's been the key to that for you?
Yes, sir. I trained at a place in Charlotte. It's called Tread Athletics, and I trained there over the summer last year, and that's just been vital. A couple of our other guys trained there as well, and it's been vital to my success as far as the velocity standpoint.
Now, if you had to change your mindset, being a reliever now, coming in out of the bullpen in big situations, as opposed to being a starter like you were in your high school career and early in your college career, how's your mindset have to change to do that?
I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and get those people out. But my mindset's definitely changed a little bit as far as just throwing one inning as opposed to going out there for 7. But if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely take the closer mindset to everything. Just go out there and give everything I got for 3 outs at a time.
And this is your second year here at Catawba. So far, athletically, academically, how has that met or exceeded your expectations?
It's definitely exceeded my expectations. I was fortunate enough. I'm a hometown kid here, so I've been around the college for a good bit now. And I never knew what it was like to go here. The support we have from everybody, and obviously not just baseball, but all the other athletics are succeeding as well.
So thanks for joining us. I'd like to talk to you a lot more here in the middle of baseball season, but we got plenty of people in other sports to talk with here. So thanks for joining us, Coach Jim Gant, and nice bobblehead there, by the way, and Hayden Simerson. So now we're going to switch gears. We're going to get to some of the not lesser known, but maybe some fans don't pay quite as much attention to some of these other sports. And one of those teams that's enjoying a tremendous amount of success this spring is tennis, both men's and women's tennis. And we're going to talk to Coach Mike Moore here to start things out. And Coach Moore, the men currently are 16-2 and have clinched at least a tie for the conference title. The women are undefeated at 19-0 and have clinched at least a share of the conference title. What has been a key to the success of your team? How has this team come together to be so successful?
Yeah, I think a lot of that comes from the culture, not only in tennis, but the sports around us. We see we go to class with kids that are also pushing for these top accolades in sports, and it's really contagious here at Catawba that everyone is pushing for that championship mindset. And I think that when you have a bunch of like-minded kids on a team, that comes pretty easily. It comes naturally when they're all looking for that championship each season.
So we heard some of the coaches talk about how you build a team, what type of players you recruit. When you go to recruit tennis players to come here to Catawba College, how do you sell them, or what are you looking for in their attributes to know they're going to fit in here at Catawba?
Sure. I think that with any kid, their dream has to be so big that it exceeds just Catawba. It exceeds just what the average athlete looks for. So when I'm talking to a kid, I want to know what their ambitions are and how far they want to go. Because if you go up against someone on the other side of the court and your dream and your goal is bigger than theirs, that's half the work. So when I find these ambitious kids that are good culture kids, it's a shoe-in. And I think it's really easy to sell Catawba to those kids. We have a great athletic admin. We have a great culture here in the school. And, it's easy to sell because I just speak the truth, So it's that part's the easy part, I think.
Now, during practices, are there things that you do to help them improve their game? What are some of the things that you do to work with the students to help them improve their tennis game?
Sure. I think one of the biggest things for student athletes today is to be able to go to practice, and it's kind of an escape from everything else. So I think my job is to make sure when they get there, athletics is a job. They go there, it's work, and I think that I want them to enjoy going to work every day. So it's my job to go there, and when they get there, they're excited to practice. They're excited to get work done, even if it is conditioning, if it's sprints, if it's a hard practice. I need to make sure I set the tone by I'm excited to be there, and then it trickles down with my assistant coaches and the older guys on the team. So I think it's about setting the environment to set a practice where they want to be there, and then the work is easy.
And then do you have to do anything special to motivate them, or are these guys just very motivated to be successful?
They motivate me. If I'm having a bad day and I walk over to practice, I don't make it from the parking lot to the tennis court without being excited because they're all excited to be there. So it works both ways. They make this job super easy.
Well, it sounds like you had a great thing going on here with the men's and women's tennis programs. So let's bring up a couple of those players now and talk to them about their level of success that they've had. And we are going to welcome up here. They're making the pronunciations tough on me with this one, but we're going to welcome Ami Mia, member of the women's tennis team. She's here from Japan and from Argentina. And Marcos, you can correct me if I don't get your last name correctly. Marcos Casteres? Or you can let everybody know the correct pronunciation of your name.
That was great. That was great. Thank you.
But we will start ladies first. So Ami, you had to come here all the way from Japan. How did you end up at Catawba College?
When I was senior in high school, I visited here, and then I really liked the community and environment here, so I decided to come to Catawba.
So again, what other people have been talking about, academically and athletically, have you gotten what you need or more, even more at Catawba College throughout your career? And in what ways?
Sorry?
In what ways has Catawba met or exceeded those expectations?
I think, especially for tennis-wise, I wasn't expecting it's gonna be that good, and then we have received so many support from school and donors, and then we have a new tennis court, new camera on every court, which is amazing, and I'm so happy for being here and playing tennis here.
Okay, and Marcos, coming from Argentina, how did you end up at Catawba College?
Well, I first ended up coming to America thanks to Coach Mike. I was in a different school. He was in a different school. So I went with him, and when he got the job offer at Catawba, he offered me to join him, and I didn't hesitate. I went straight through it, and it was a great decision. So when I got here, I realized how much the people care, which I think for me was very special. I suffered a really tough injury like a year ago, and all the staff here took it very personally to make sure that I was back on court as soon as possible. And compared to my previous situation, I was very happy that I came here, honestly, because all the people took it very personal, from the trainers to the professors that allowed me to. I had to skip class. I had 8 screws in my ankle right now, so it was pretty severe. But for us, that we are international, I think we are very, very far from home. Being in an environment that people care about you, it makes it a lot easier. It makes it a lot easier, and I really noticed that when I arrived to Catawba. I think it was great.
And what do each of you plan to do once you leave Catawba College, when you graduate, and what do you plan to do in your careers wherever you end up?
I'm not sure. I'm still junior, so I have time to think about it. But I might stay here. I might go home and then find some job. But yeah, I mean, I really like here in the U.S.
And Marcos?
I already got a job. I'm graduating from my MBA in a couple of months. I already got a job. Also, thanks to Coach Mike. I cannot thank him enough, honestly. But I'm planning on staying here to do my after graduation training, and hopefully, stay around the community that I really enjoy.
All right, well, thanks for joining us here on the Coaches Show today, and I'm sure you'll make Catawba proud in your future endeavors. So, Ami, Mia, and Marcos Casteres. So that takes care of tennis, and now let's move on to another team that has become very successful here at Catawba, the men's and women's swimming programs. Thanks a great deal to this coach right here, Matthew Gearing. And Matthew, coming in here to Catawba and taking over the swimming program, what were some of the challenges that you faced coming in here initially?
3 years ago, we were in a very different spot than where we're at right now. Simple things as far as roster numbers. We had 10 men on the team when I first got here, which was not even enough to have a team qualify to NCAAs. This year we sent a ton of 6 men to NCAAs. Men got 16th in the country. That's a pretty drastic change in 3 years. So that's a big difference.
Now, your team broke a lot of records both on the men's and women's side in conference championship meets, a lot of championships, a lot of South Atlantic Conference awards. And I know one that you and the Catawba community is very proud of is the academic achievements of both the men's and women's team for, I think, the last 3 years here at Catawba.
Yeah. Women have had the highest GPA in the country in D2 women's swimming for 5 semesters. Both the men and the women were honored at the national championship as having the highest team GPA at the championship, which is really special. And I think it goes to show the student athlete component of our program. And it's also correlating with what we're doing in the pool and the performance that we're having there.
So I want to ask you, similar to when you go out to recruit a swimmer, you're looking at their times and how they did, but what else are you looking for from those students to make sure they're the right fit here for Catawba College?
Yeah, I mean, from an academic standpoint, swimming is a sport that teaches a lot of really good values. Time management, commitment, dedication. There's not a lot of sports where you wake up at incredibly early hours a large majority of the time you're doing that sport. So we're kind of really lucky in that regard where they're going to be able to come in and be a really good student. Much after that, it's the performance piece, making sure that they're going to be able to fit into what we're doing and contribute to the program, and then that they want to be here, want to work hard, and want to get better.
And we heard Coach Moore talk about the things he does to make practices fun, make them want to be there, make it a fun part of their day. Swimming can be pretty grueling, putting in all those hours in the pool. What are some of the things that you do to make those practice sessions more enjoyable for your swimmers?
Yeah, I have some eyeballs. That's not my forte. I'm not a big fun coach, as everyone on the team would agree with that. I have some head shaking. It's a tough sport. It's hard. You don't get to talk to your teammates. Your head's down. You're looking at a black line. You're in cold water. There's no way around it other than being hard, and there's not a lot of ways to get better other than working really, really hard. So our kids do that. They do a good job of it, even if they don't want to do that sometimes, because they know what the result is of what our program wants to achieve.
So you mentioned all that hard work, but what are some of the intangibles that your team has that makes them successful?
Yeah, I think it's the culture. Look out, our entire team's here. They've been here the whole time, which is really special. Come to support all of the athletic programs. They support one another. I think, when we talk about Catawba culture, I would say that we do a really good job of embodying that, and just the love that they have for each other.
And talk about some of the success that your swimmers have had. There's a lot numerous. We're going to talk to some of these swimmers coming up and talk about some of their achievements, but team-wise, other than the academics, what are some of the achievements that your group has achieved?
Yeah, well, both our men and our women finished second this year at the conference championship. That's the highest place for the women. Really had an incredible run for the women there. Coach of the year on the women's side, which was great. Elite 23 winner, who we'll talk with in a moment. 14 events that we won at the conference championship. we look at the national championship, we had 34 All-American honors. That is the most, definitely in program history. Our men finished 16th in the country, our women finished 14th, both highest in program history. Really, really incredible year for especially where you started with where we came in 3 years ago.
Well, quite a bunch of achievements there for your group, and let's talk to some of those successful swimmers
Absolutely.
right now as we bring up men's swimmer Max Minakowski. Max is a sophomore from Poland, and he's going to be joined by women's swimmer senior Lily Martin. Lily is from right here in North Carolina, from Clayton, North Carolina. Two of the more successful swimmers here. And Lily, you've been a part of this program now for 4 seasons. You were the team captain this year. You helped contribute to the highest team finish in South Atlantic Conference history. What have been the keys during your career to that continued success you have here at Catawba?
Oh man, there's a lot of things. As you said, I've been here for 4 years, so I've seen a lot of change here. There are 2 people from my incoming class that are still on the team, which is crazy to think about, but our coaching staff has turned this program into something to be proud of. Matt, Reagan, Tarek, and Mike have all just been absolutely incredible. I could not have imagined any of that academically, athletically, anything.
So in what ways has Catawba helped exceed those expectations you had coming in? What would you say has been some of the biggest things to help you be satisfied and successful here at Catawba?
I think it's all the people in this room. I could not have done this without my teammates around me, my roommates, and my coaching staff. They've supported us to be able to achieve the success that we've seen on a national stage. I never would have thought that this program would have been recognized nationally. 5 semesters in a row for GPA is just crazy on the women's side. And just all the awards that we've gotten from academics and athletics and community service. But yeah, the people in this room have just gotten this program and myself to where we are.
Well, glad you've enjoyed your career and had much success here during your career at Catawba. Let's talk to Max. Speaking of successful swimmers, Max defended his conference titles in the 50 and 100 freestyle, the 100 breaststroke, plus he won the 200 freestyle. The only man to win 4 individual events. He was the SAC swimmer of the meet. And in the NCAAs, he swam in 4 events and finished in the top 5 in 3 of those 4. So Max, what has been the key for you to achieve that level of success here at Catawba College?
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of things, but just to start with, it's been an incredible 2 years for me here. And I think the big part of everything is just the whole team, because I receive support every day. And I'm very thankful for my teammates as they push me every day at practice and make every session enjoyable. And also for all of our coaches, Matthew, Reagan, Tarek, and Michael. This is really an incredible coaching staff, and I couldn't wish for a better place to be here. And I'm really happy with my decision, and I think it's a great place to be.
So how did you end up here at Catawba College coming from Poland? How did that work? What made you come here to Catawba College?
So I always had a dream of swimming and studying in the United States. So I just worked with a company that helps to send students abroad. And my first conversation was actually with Matthew, and he made the best impression on me. And he was just very likable from the beginning. So I believed his vision, and I decided to come here and see what I can do.
Okay, so there are plenty of organizations that help him recruit players. He doesn't have that unlimited recruiting budget to go all over the world and bring everybody in here. I thought he might have had a great recruiting budget there. So Max, what would you say helps make your swim program so successful?
So I think the big lesson I had over those 2 years is that it's not about me. I'm only a small fraction of this team, and knowing that everyone matters and we all come to the pool and just work as hard as we can and support one another makes it a really united team. And I think we became one big family, and our culture is just on another level. And we always show up to all the events at the school. We are always loud for each other. And I think that's what makes us stand out here in Catawba.
And Lily, anything to add to that? what makes it so successful, what makes Catawba such a special place?
Yeah, I'm going to repeat something that Matt said about Catawba culture. I think this swim team, I might be biased, but I think is the definition of Catawba culture. The people that are here, we support one another like no other team I've seen on this campus. They're all here, and you can hear them at events too. But I just think the culture of this team is phenomenal, and it's because of the swimmers, but also the coaching staff. So.
Well, thank you both for joining us, and
Before we wrap up,
continue success.
yeah, I just wanted to say that we have this little thing that we like to do after we win each race at the dual meets and conference championships. So it goes like this. We say, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Ooh, Catawba.
And that's what the culture is all about.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing
Thank
that
you.
with us. So thanks to Max Minikowski and Lily Martin of the swim team. And now we're going to switch gears to one of the newer programs here at Catawba. And no less successful, the fact that they're new, is men's and women's track and field, both indoor and outdoor. And we're joined by Coach Jason Bryan, and you also coach cross country as well, I believe. Is that right?
Oh, yes.
So all year round, track and field, like most sports now, all year round training and getting things ready. Now, you've recruited quite a diverse group of athletes here at Catawba. How has the diversity you have on your team helped your squad be successful?
Yeah, I mean, track and field is a diverse sport. We have men and women, obviously, but we have throwers, sprinters, jumpers, distance runners from all different backgrounds, from all over the world, but also different sports backgrounds and things like that. And I think it makes us stronger. It's definitely not boring at practice or at meets. I mean, track meets are a all-day, sometimes 2-day, sometimes 3-day affair. So it's a long process. But I think having so many different people from so many different backgrounds, cheering each other on, watching each other work hard at practice every day, it does make us stronger. And I think it's an awesome thing to see, and it's an awesome thing to have seen over the past 7 years since we started.
So I want to find out, do you make things fun at practice like Mike Moore for tennis, or are you a taskmaster like Matthew Gehring at swimming?
Track and field can be fun, but it also, days like today, I mean, we were out there getting it in before our meets this weekend, and it was raining on us, and it was cold and blowing wind and everything like that, but we got it in, and we definitely brave the elements quite a lot in our sport, especially early on in outdoor track, but and even in indoor track season, we're out there in the cold and everything like that. And I love to watch them work hard out in that, and I think that is something unique about our sport, that we're out there no matter what.
And I mentioned it's a fairly new sport here at Catawba, getting up and running. What were some of the challenges you faced in building a track and field program?
Well, a lot of times in any program, you have your upperclassmen that the newcomers look up to. We didn't have that when we first started. We had a bunch of freshmen, and we didn't have that upperclassmen group to look to. As soon as we got that, I think we had our first All-American a few years ago, Michaela White, and then Brian Pittman followed that up on the men's side, and that really shot our program up as far as having those people to look to and to shoot for and try to get to. And now you've seen multiple people become All-Americans after that and conference champions after that when they see that example before.
And what are some of the things that you want the folks to know about Catawba track and field?
I mean, it is a unique sport in the fact that we don't really have any home events, and we are out there, working just as hard as every other sport. And the great thing that we have in track and field is that we are all over the place. We can be split in sometimes different locations, things like that. Our conference championship is actually up at Hickory in less than 3 weeks from now. We have our indoor championships every year up in Winston-Salem. And we'd love for people to come out to those. But yeah, I mean, I think that with track and field, it's a sport where we have javelin throwers that are some of the best in the conference. I think we have the fastest people on campus over here that are about to talk to you. And so it's an awesome sport, and I would love for people to come out if they can ever get to those facilities and venues to see us compete, because it's an amazing sport to watch.
All right, so keep up the good work here at Catawba, and let's speak to some of those speedsters that are in the wings over here. Let's get them up here. Coach Jason Bryan, track and field and cross country. We're going to talk to a couple of sprinters here. First, we're going to talk with women's sprinter and long jumper, F.A. Igberry, and also Wynn Porter, a men's speedster out there on the track. So let's start with you, F.A., since we go women first. You're a junior from Logansville, Georgia. And in what ways has Catawba met or exceeded the expectations you had coming in here at Catawba?
It's been pretty cool so far. Like, all the professors and coaches, they've all been very supportive. And, like, when you don't have confidence in yourself, they have it for you. So it takes me a very long way.
Now, how did you end up coming to Catawba College? What influenced you to come here?
Whenever I came on my visit, the coach, he was just like very honest and open about it. And it just like being away from home, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm in good hands when I came on this visit. So, yeah.
And Wynn, you've had success in both the 60 meters indoor. I think you were a champion there, or second place?
Yeah, second place.
In the 60 with a record, school record time. And also you're the school record holder in the 100 meters. How did you end up coming to Catawba College? You came here from Loxahatchee, Florida.
Yeah, so I was at Savannah State originally, and then I transferred here to Catawba College, and I was blessed to have Coach Brian help me out, and he just blessed me with a lot of opportunities, and so I came here, and he allowed me to have the best opportunities to just compete at a high level and just put Catawba on the map.
And what have you enjoyed the most during your time here at Catawba? How has it helped you achieve your level of success both academically and athletically?
Academically, I've been able to make connections with some professors, and it helped me to be able to pursue my career like with accounting, and then also on the track side of things, my coaches have been able to just allow me to go to different track meets. Like I went to New York to compete to be on a USA team, and I got 13th place for that on national television. And then also, they just helped me get a lot faster coming here.
So for each of you, what has been your favorite memory so far here at Catawba?
I'd definitely say indoor conference this year, getting second or runner-up in long jump, because it was just very unexpected and something I've been working on for a while.
And Wayne, how about you?
I think it was in the fall when we used to play. Like, you asked us, like, what do we do for fun? Sometimes in the fall semester, we normally have, like, games that we play, and it was pretty fun seeing how competitive everybody can get outside of track and just have fun with each other.
And what do each of you hope to do later on in life when you're done with track and field? What do you hope to do?
I hope to complete med school and become a doctor.
Great,
Yeah.
great. And Wynn?
I just want to, I low-key want to become a professional track athlete, and then also, if that doesn't work out, I want to also just help other people become financially stable. If that's accounting or financial advisor, I think that would be great.
Okay, so I'm sure you'll continue to make Catawba proud, not just on the track and field here during the rest of your career, but down the road, whatever, in your endeavors on down the road, I'm sure you'll be successful. So thanks for joining us here on the Catawba Coaches Show tonight.
Thank
Big
you.
hand for F.A. Igberry and Wynn Porter. Now I want to bring up JD's, and he's going to be joined by Coach Tyler Haynes. And we're going to talk about some things that you may be able to get involved with here at Catawba and things behind the scenes that help make these Catawba teams successful. But what a story that you heard from these student athletes here tonight and the coaches. The Catawba culture, the way they make things fun for their student athletes, the support that they give them, and the support they get from you in the community. The things that you do both financially, personally, being involved with student athletes during their time here at Catawba, just a wonderful message and helps make Catawba such a great place to be and that folks want to be here. So right now we're going to talk to JD's, and he has a special guest. They didn't tell me who this was going to be here, so he'll have to introduce himself.
We're
But
going
Jay,
to see how good Ken is tonight. We're going to throw him a curveball.
You want to talk a little bit about the 1851 Champions Collective NIL. So I'm not real familiar with that, so fill us in on how that goes, and your guest can speak as well.
So we've been working on this for about 2 years. And but first I want to thank Maddox and Mindy and Savannah and the development office for doing this night. It takes a lot of work to put this show on, and they do a masterful job. Vice President and Athletics Director Michelle Cadigan, I want to thank you for your tireless effort to develop and create this winning system and this culture. the coaches and the players that support that culture. And I'm not sure if everybody's paid attention, but we're 20th in Learfield points, all sports, all Division II colleges. And we still have a couple of pretty good teams in the spring left to go. 1851 Champions Collective is going to roll out this summer and into the fall. This is our effort to support the athletic director and the coaches directly and their players. Right now we're rolling up with football, men's and women's basketball. We've had some efforts with individual athletes before, but our mission is a little bit different. We're going to support athletes directly. We're going to do it consistent with the characteristics that are on the seal of this school. And Dr. Nelson often refers to the seal of this school when he talks about the people that work here and the kids that come here. But if you want to work with scholarship, character, culture, and service, those are the 4 characteristics on there. If you want to come here, work hard, study hard, play hard, we want to support all the athletes at this school. And so we're going to grow it. I'm going to talk short for the first time ever. J.D. Davis is a former football player, one of the critical early members of this collective. Steve Harkins is in here, Tom Denard, Mike Casey's back there. We've got a lot of people that were here tonight. But J.D. Davis, I want to let him turn over and tell you why it's important.
Yeah, thanks,
All right,
Jay.
J.D., you got about a minute here. We're running out of
All
time,
right,
so
real
be quick.
Real quickly. So I was a former athlete, student athlete here, and you know, what Jay was talking about is really building a true NIL infrastructure. And I think it's important, even at the small college level. We don't have a Power 4 type of budget, but it is going to give us an opportunity to be super competitive, give the coaches an opportunity to help us in recruiting and retention. And to the student athletes that are here, you know, it's not about money, but it's an opportunity. And I think that opportunity allows you to build your personal brand, connect with the community, and connect with, you know, former alumni can get and give you a pathway directly how to support you. So you're going to hear more about the Champions Collective, 1851 Champions Collective, and we'll turn it over back to our host, Ken.
Yeah. Thank you. And good work. You guys are going to do great work and help build the Catawba culture even more and much more success on the athletic programs. And everything's off to a great start. And Coach Haynes back up here, spring game tomorrow. What are you looking for out of your team in the spring game tomorrow?
Just want to say thank you real quick again to this collective. I think it's huge. I think it's the right way to take the NIL, which is to reward student athletes that are doing it the right way, the Catawba way. So thank you to both these guys speaking. Would love every single person sitting here, 7 p.m., rain or shine, going to be shining. 7 p.m., come on out, support us. You're going to see a bunch of football players representing us well, playing hard, staying healthy, and getting ready for the fall. So come on out, have some fun. It's going to be a great time, and got to leave you with this. We know this is for Gary Blaybon. We only get one shot at this, so we got to do it right. All right, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to yell "Cat U" on 3. So we get one chance at it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Cat U.
Oh, we got one more on this. One more on this. 1, 2, 3.
Cat U.
Thank you.
All right, thank you everybody for joining us. Another edition of the Catawba Coaches Show. Look forward to seeing you at all the Catawba athletic events and different things that go on. Thank you.